Hello viewers, here is a box fan. I don't know what the brand name would have been if this sold under, but this was manufactured by Chung Yuan Electric, which is the same brand that made the Home Depot fans that I showed on video earlier this year. And I have to wonder if this blade set is the same and the motor is the same. Well, maybe the blade's not. I don't know, I'm looking at another one. It looks very similar. Most strikingly, the guard is very similar to the, I think the 9-inch model it is. Anyways, so it piqued my curiosity to see if this fan is as good as the other two were, the oscillating fans and then the whatever plastic high velocity, if you will, fans. This one has a fuse plug and it is replaceable. So plug that up here. It's got kind of an odd switch. The numbers are on both sides. Excuse me. And it looks like it could turn completely around, although it doesn't seem to work. This should be high, and it's certainly not doing anything. I don't hear it doing anything either. That's disappointing. All right. Well, okay. I guess the first thing to do would be to check the fuse. I've never seen one of these fuses fail, but there's a first for everything. It's proving extraordinarily difficult to get out. What the heck is that about? They put a daggone piece of something or other over it so that we can't see if it's broken or not. I have to get out the meter then. So if this fuse is good, we should have essentially a reading of very, very limited resistance. So let's see here. Fuse seems to be good. So once again, it's not a problem of the fuse, and these fuses are maintaining their innocence still. So my guess is going to be it's probably a thermal fuse situation. I'll put this back in off video. Okay, that's reseated. I guess the next thing to do is going to be to go into the fan here and see what we can do. Looks like it'll come apart fairly easy with these 4 screws on each corner. The switch probably has to come off first. Something is holding it in here at the bottom. I think I see what the problem is. Looks like these feet have to kind of unclip from here. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty much exactly the same. That's pretty stiff. Wonder if the bearings are just locked. Probably should put the other meter on here and see if it's drawing any power or not. It would tell us if we have any activity from the motor. No, we got nothing. So the thermal fuse is, oh, that's cool, it wasn't even in the frame. The thermal fuse is probably spoiled, and I would guess it's because the bearing's locked up. So let's begin by removing the blade. It's got this stupid single-use thing on it. So we're going to get that off, and I'm going to have to be careful to not completely ruin it, because it has to go back on, because if it's like the other fan, there's nothing holding it in place, the blade in place, other than this stupid thing. So I'm going to try to pry it up slowly without completely wrecking it. And of course that is much easier said than done. Okay, kind of broke, but okay, it completely broke. Well, hopefully there'll be enough to keep it in place still. Oh, actually this one is still very much stuck on there. Okay, maybe in this case we won't need that thing. So this motor is made by Massey, and that is stiff. Yeah, I'm sure this probably just has a blown thermal fuse because the bearings were locked. Okay, so we're going to begin by removing this tape. Which is not always an easy task here. And of course this got pretty hot at some point, so the sticky material on this tape is kind of coming off, and it's really kind of gross. In fact, that's just breaking apart. Okay, so here's the windings. And we now need to locate the thermal fuse, which I suspect is going to be right, not there. It's probably this thing right here. Oh, everything's glued into place here. Well, what we're going to do here, just to prove the theory, is I'm going to essentially bypass the thermal fuse. Let's loosen some more here. We're going to take this, which is the lead to the thermal fuse, and we're going to bypass it, the thermal fuse, by just kind of doing this and connecting these two wires. Okay, and I'll put this back on, and so now the if it's an issue with the thermal fuse, the motor should run, and then if it runs, we can go ahead and replace the fuse. I mean, you can certainly use it like this, but it's just a safety hazard because it now no longer has any protection. I don't think this will free up at all enough to make it spin up, but we'll be able to tell if it's working or not. I'm going to plug in the kilowatts again, and I'm going to plug the fan into it. I'm going to leave the camera on the fan in case it blows up or something. Okay, perhaps that was just not on. Okay, it's pulling power now. Whoa. It's actually making a valiant effort to start running. Alright, so it certainly works. Okay, so this will be a fairly easy fix. Let's see if we can free up the bearings with just a couple drops of oil, because oftentimes that's all it takes. And I think the trouble is going to be in the rear bearing in this particular situation. There we go. Still pretty tight, but it largely freed itself up quite a bit. Of course, that bearing needs to be cleaned out, but for now, it'll run enough so we can test this out and see if it's a good enough fan to be worth salvaging. So I'm not going to worry about that tape. I'm just going to put everything back into place here and screw the motor back in. Put this wire back onto that those little clips there so it doesn't have the opportunity to get caught into the blades. And before we close it up, I'll just get the excess oil off of there so it doesn't make a mess. And that is on there well enough that I'm not even going to worry about that that crazy clip thing that I don't like. I think all these wires are supposed to go through here, like that. Alright. Let's see if this will close up correctly. It seems to be. Okay, we'll put these screws back in. Okay, so we're off with speed 1. Oh wow, this is as good as the circular fans are. Maybe not quite as fast, but certainly very powerful. This is much more powerful than the Doracraft window table fan is. That's really whipping out the air. Alright, I'm going to fix that. I think it's worth repairing. So we'll just have to get a new thermal fuse. I don't think I have any thermal fuses. Let's see here. I'll check and see. I'm pretty sure I used the last one. If I don't have any, then we'll have to do another video. Yeah, I don't have any. They would have been in there. So that's it. I'm going to have to order some more thermal fuses. And we'll do a part 2 on this one.